Good afternoon, Avadhuta Babadanji.
Good afternoon.
What are you going to talk about today?
Today I'm going to talk about God. God is all-powerful, all-knowing, all-blissful, all-perfect. So God exists in His perfect condition. Absolute power, absolute bliss, absolute oneness. Now, a person can turn around, a saint can turn around and say, God exists in His perfect state. What does He need to speak for? When a saint speaks to worldly persons, normal persons, it's called condescension. God has asked that person to speak from perfect platform to an imperfect platform. The speak is on an imperfect platform. When there's the perfection of God, there is no speak. So, God, creating creation, has then created a separation in creation from Himself, apart from the saint. Now, the only condescension of God manifested in the world is through the saint. That's why the Bhagavad Gita says, when times are dark, I send myself, Krishna says, as a saint to speak about righteousness. That's called a condescension, because God is already righteous. It's the people and the world who have fallen away from that righteousness. It's the righteousness which gets the persons to God. So now God has asked the person to manifest it in the saint and asked the saint to speak. God has manifested it as the saint to speak to the people. This is ignorance. This isn't to inspire people to get to the perfection. God is already always in His perfection. He never comes out of His perfection ever. He's always in His absolute totality, forever. Now Advaita says there is no world. There's nothing wrong with saying that. That's a very clever way of negating any conversation of ignorance. As soon as you have a conversation of ignorance, people like to put their ignorance in the conversation. That's when we have to explain a condescension, such as incarnation, as Jesus Christ, avatars, Krishna, Vishnu, Shiva. These avatars are divine incarnations. The saints, who are manifestations of God. It's very hard for a person to understand condescension, God condescending to creation to create order and righteousness. Still, it seems to some a fruitless task, because there are a lot of atheists in the modern world, and atheism and secularism in the modern world, and this is the task of the saint, to influence people to search for God, to develop a relationship with God, to develop for them, not for the saint. He's got God. He's in his divine consciousness. He can never come out of it. It's not for the saint. It's not for God. God's perfect. It's for the people, to help them in their error. They have fallen away from discipline and the wish to know God and righteousness. This can only be disaster for them. It's not disaster for the saint, and it's not disaster for God. It can only be a disaster for the people. They will suffer, because bad actions can never produce good results. Bad actions can only produce bad results. And God has always explained this through all the scriptures, and all the religions, and all the saints have said the same thing. God is all-powerful, all-knowing, and controls everything. He is the creator, sustainer. He is the one who sets things the way they are and then sets them straight when they have become crooked. Blessed is the man who believes it and believes and knows God. Whew, open the door quick.